everyone, welcome to today's episode of Sean's Movie Crusades, as we are going to be reviewing the latest teen coming-of-age comedy, Booksmart. I'm normally a pretty big fan of coming-of-age teen comedies, especially over the last couple of years. Edge of 17 with Haley Steinfeld, I loved the hell out of that movie. Love, Simon last year was a great film. But a lot of people have been talking about Booksmart. It did fantastic at the latest festivals. It is directed by Olivia Wilde, former actress. I mean, she still is an actress a little bit. Married Jason Sudeikis. Tons of talent from her. This is her first directorial debut. A lot of people are calling this the female version of Superbad, which I would really kind of agree with that. This is a very female-led Superbad kind of film. But yeah, the basic general story or the general plot of the film is you have these two teenage girls. It is the last day of high school for them, and they've spent their entire 4 years doing nothing but homework and studying, so that way they can get into the best colleges. They don't party, they don't do anything like that. Where on the last day of school, they find out that all the partiers and all the popular kids who partied and did all that kind of stuff are getting into the exact same schools that they are getting into, so they feel like they have kind of wasted the last 4 years, so they decide to try to put everything they can into the last party of the year and try to party as much as they can on their last day of high school to make up for the 4 years. So that's really the general plot of Booksmart. What works about Booksmart is the cast. Olivia Wilde does a fantastic job directing the film. The screenplay is fantastic, and it is led by the two lead actresses. Caitlin Dever, most people might know her from Tim Allen's comedy show Last Man Standing, among other things. And then, of course, you have Beanie Feldstein, who is in a lot of comedy things, but she is also the sister of Jonah Hill, which is kind of funny because a lot of people think this is the female version of Superbad. Of course, Jonah Hill was in the first Superbad with Michael Cera. Both of them do a fantastic job. The chemistry between them is incredible. They have so much chemistry as best friends that you believe their friendship for the entire time of the film. You never feel like it's just two actresses pretending to be friends. You buy into their friendship, you believe their friendship, and that is what carries you through this entire film, is the relationship of these two girls. Another great thing that's great about this film is that it's got a phenomenal supporting cast. This is one of those movies, like one of the teenage coming-of-age movies that I am a big fan of, that I've loved from way back when, was Can't Hardly Wait. And the reason is not that it was this fantastic film, but it was because of the cast in it. There's so many actors and actresses in that film that were relative nobodies in that movie that grew up to become people that we know and love today. And I feel like Booksmart is going to be one of those movies that in like 5, 10, even 15 years that we will look back at this film and we're going to see people in this movie that were relative nobodies and go, oh wow, I forgot that they were in this movie. I can't believe they're in this film. Because the supporting cast of the high schoolers, outside of Caitlin and Beanie, who play Amy and Molly, by the way, I forgot to mention that, do a great job. They're stereotypes in a sense, especially at the start of the movie. They're stereotypes, but then as Amy and Molly go on this journey through this night, they start to learn more and more about these classmates that they really spent no time trying to learn at all. And you find out that everyone has something going on in their life, and they're not just chalked up to a stereotype. I mean, you have the pretty girls, you have the jocks, you have the stoners, you have all these people. Some of them do play the stereotype, and they play it really, really well, but then there are others that once they actually have a conversation with them, you find that there's just a lot more to meet the eye, or that meets the eye with these characters. The couple standouts for me personally, you have Skylar Gisondo. I'm a huge fan of this guy. I've been a huge fan of him. For people who watch Netflix's Santa Clarita Diet, he's hilarious, and he's really coming into his own. And then also Billie Lourd, Carrie Fisher's daughter. She is a standout in this film. And I think this is one of her first movie roles where she actually is really given stuff to do. I mean, she's in the Star Wars films, but she's just kind of like a stand-in character who just kind of stands there in the background. She's really given a lot more to do in this film. And then there are other standouts. You have Molly Gordon. She plays a character called AAA. You'll understand the name when you actually watch the movie. You also got Diana Silvers, who plays Hope. Nico Haraga, who plays Tanner. Eduardo Franco, who plays Theo. And Mason Gooding, who plays Nick. Lisa Kudrow and Will Forte play the parents of Amy. You got Jason Sudeikis in there, who plays Principal Brown. Jessica Williams does a great job as one of the teachers named Miss Fine. All these characters are fun to watch. They all do a really great job. And you can tell that all these people are having a blast filming this film and starring in it. And the writing is very well done. The comedy works well. It's just a really enjoyable film to watch, and it's one of those movies that you could probably go back to many times in the future to rewatch and enjoy. Now, because it is kind of an indie-ish kind of film, it is probably a movie that's going to not get as much critical acclaim here in the theaters, especially with it being summer movies, with all the the Avengers and John Wick's and Aladdin and Godzilla and all this stuff coming out. Booksmart's probably going to fly under the radar, so this is probably a film that is going to kind of become a cult classic until more and more people get to watch it. But yeah, Booksmart is a hell of a lot of fun. The only things I really didn't care for is that there is a drug scene that, while funny, just really felt out of place with the rest of the theme of the film. But I get why they did it. They really just tried to go out there with something extreme, and it's a funny scene, but it just feels out of place with the rest of the movie. Other than that, loved the way this film was done. Like I said, the script is incredibly well done. The lead actresses and Caitlin Dever and Beanie Feldstein do a great job. Olivia Wilde does a fantastic job directing, and a fantastic supporting cast of young actors and actresses that we are probably going to see here in the near future. So yeah, overall, I strongly recommend Booksmart. It is one of my favorite films of the year to date. And if it's in your theaters, go see it. Have a blast and have fun, especially if you have your best friend from high school. Go see it with them, because it's gonna bring up a lot of fond memories of high school. I feel if you're still friends with your high school friends. But yeah, definitely highly recommend Booksmart. So because of that, going into the top 10 movies of 2019 so far, Booksmart comes in at the number 2 ranking so far of the year. And this top 10 is a little bit different than it was in the last review that you saw, which was Aladdin. Like I said, this top 10 is going to be interchangeable. There's just certain times where, right when I get out of a film, I'm really, really high on it, but then a few days later, things change. So this is going to be a little bit different than the top 10 you saw in the last episode. So coming in at number 1, we still have Avengers Endgame. Number 2 is going to be Booksmart. 3 is Us. 4 is John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. 5 is Long Shot. 6 goes to Brightburn. 7 goes to Aladdin. 8 goes to Shazam. 9 is Pokemon Detective Pikachu. 10 is Fighting With My Family, with How to Train Your Dragon 3 The Hidden World dropping out of the top 10. Tomorrow, we got 2 big movies coming out. We got Rocket Man and Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I'm really, really excited for both those films. I've heard, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and I've heard fantastic things about Taron Egerton's Rocket Man. So be on the lookout for those reviews. And sorry if I'm talking really, really fast. I am trying to get these reviews to stay kind of under 10 to 12 minutes. So if you guys like that, let me know. If you guys feel like you guys like the more longer, detailed reviews, let me know on that. Trying to figure out ways to get more likes, more clicks, more watches. So feel free to leave your comments below. Like I said, if you guys also have any recommendations on films you would like to have me watch, feel free to leave those in the comments below, or catch me on all the social media outlets you see below. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you guys did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys feel like this review is worth sharing, go ahead and hit that share button. But most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you guys stay up to date with the latest videos on Sean's Movies Crusades. And until next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.